thought I'd finish this chapter of Travels with My Aunt. It's a Greene novel of 1969. Today is Sunday, the 4th of January. Henry Pulling, a retired bank manager, met his aunt at his mother's funeral after 50 years, and she's a traveller, and they're travelling together to Istanbul, and she tells him about Mr. Visconti in this chapter 14, where he had put on a priest costume, and somebody wanted him to hear the confession. How many times, my child? That was a phrase he remembered very well from his adolescence. How can you ask that, Father? I've been at it all the time, ever since the occupation. After all, they were our allies, Father. Yes, yes, my child. I can see him enjoying the chance he had of learning a thing or two, even though his life was in danger. Mr. Visconti was a very lecherous man. He said, "Always the same thing, my child." She regarded him with astonishment. "Of course not, Father. Who on earth do you think I am?" He looked at her kneeling in front of him, and I'm sure he longed to pinch her. Mr. Visconti was always a great pincher. "Anything unnatural, my child?" "What do you mean unnatural, Father?" Mr. Visconti explained. "Surely that's not unnatural, Father." Then they had quite a discussion about what was natural and what wasn't, with Mr. Visconti almost forgetting his danger in the excitement, until someone knocked on the door, and Mr. Visconti, vaguely sketching a cross in a loop-sided way, muttered what sounded through the noise of the air conditioner like an absolution. The German officer came in the middle of it and said, "Hurry up, Monsignor. I have got a more important customer for you." It was the General's wife, who had come down to the bar for a last dry martini before escaping north, and heard what was going on. She drained her martini in one gulp and commanded the officer to arrange her confession. So there was Mr. Visconti caught again. There was an awful row now in the Via Veneto as the tanks drove out of Rome. The General's wife had positively to shout at Mr. Visconti. She had a rather masculine voice, and Mr. Visconti said it was like being on the parade ground, and he nearly clicked his feet together in his purple socks when she bellowed at him, "Adultery 3 times. Are you married, my daughter?" "Of course I'm married. What on earth do you suppose? I'm Frau General." I've forgotten what ugly Teutonic name she had. "Does your husband know of this?" "Of course he doesn't know. He's not a priest." "Then you have been guilty of lies too?" Yes, naturally. I suppose so. You must hurry, Father. Our car's being loaded. We are leaving for Florence in a few minutes. Have you anything else to tell me? Nothing of importance. You haven't missed Mass? Oh, occasionally, Father. This is wartime. Meet on Friday? You forget. It is permitted now, Father. Those are Allied planes overhead. You have to leave immediately. God cannot be hurried, my child. Have you indulged in impure thoughts? Father, you put down yes to anything you like, but give me absolution. I have to be off. I cannot feel that you've properly examined your conscience. Unless you give me absolution at once, I shall have you arrested for sabotage. Mr. Visconti said, it would be better if you gave me a seat in your car. We could finish your confession tonight. There isn't room in the car, Father. The driver, my husband, myself, my dog. There simply isn't space for another passenger. A dog takes up no room. It can sit on your knees. This is an Irish wolfhound, Father. Then you must leave it behind, Mr. Visconti said firmly. And at that moment a car backfired and Frau General took it for an explosion. I need Wolf for my protection, Father. War is very dangerous for women. You will be under the protection of our Holy Mother, Church, Mr. Visconti said, as well as your husband's. I cannot leave Wolf behind. He is all I have in the world to love. I would have assumed that with these adulteries and a husband, They mean nothing to me. Then I suggest, Mr. Visconti said, that we leave the General behind, and so it came about. The General was dressing down the hall porter because of a mislaid spectacle case when the Frau General seated herself beside the driver, and Mr. Visconti sat beside Wolf at the back. "Drive off," the General's wife said. The driver hesitated, he was more afraid of the wife than of the husband. The General came out into the street and shouted to them as they drove off. A tank had stopped to give precedence to the staff car. Nobody paid any attention to the General's shouts except Wolf. He clambered all over Mr. Visconti, thrusting his evil-smelling parts against Mr. Visconti's face, knocking off Mr. Visconti's clerical hat, barking furiously to get out. The Frau General may have loved Wolf, but it was the General whom Wolf loved. Probably the General concerned himself with the food and his exercise. Blindly, Mr. Visconti fumbled for the handle of the window. Before the window was properly open, Wolf jumped right in the path of the following tank. It flattened him. Mr. Visconti looked back, though thought that he had resembled one of those biscuits they make for children in the shape of animals. So Mr. Visconti was rid of both dog and General and was able to ride in reasonable comfort to Florence. Mental comfort was another matter, and the General's wife was hysterical with grief. I think Couran would have dealt with the situation a great deal better than Mr. Visconti. At Brighton, Couran would offer the last sacrament in the form of a ritual bone, which the poor beast, of course, could not possibly chew to a dying dog. A lot of dogs were killed by cars on Brighton front, and the police were quite annoyed by owners who refused to have bodies shifted until Couran had been summoned to give the corpse absolution. But Mr. Visconti, as I have told you, was not a religious man, and the consolations he offered, I can well imagine, were insufficient and unconvincing. Perhaps he spoke of punishment for the Frau General's sins, for Mr. Visconti had a sadistic streak, and of the purgatory which we suffer on earth. Poor Mr. Visconti, he must have had a hard time of it all the way to Florence. What happened to the General? He was captured by the Allies, I believe, but I'm not sure whether or not he was hanged at Nuremberg. Mr. Visconti must have a great deal on his conscience. Mr. Visconti hasn't got a conscience, my aunt said, with pleasure. That was the end of chapter 14, and I continue soon.